All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started, share my screen, and get my slides up here. And good deal. So, uh, don't have very many people on live, but if you are on live, if you could just put in the chat if you can see my slides and hear me okay. We'll do a little tech check first. All right, good deal. I actually did a presentation. It's probably been a year now, but I talked and talked and and I said, okay, I'm going to stop sharing my slides now. And people wrote in the chat, what slides? I don't see any slides. I was like, oh no. So sometimes I just talk, but today I have slides, so I want you to at least be able to see them. So what we're talking about is focus. And some people just think, well, I'm just not a focused I have trouble focusing. I'm not a focused person. But focus is a skill, and skills can be learned. Um, and so you can build a greater, stronger skill of focus. So that's what we're going to talk about. Um, and I'm glad you're here, whether you're watching this replay or live, um, because it's a good topic. And today we're gonna bust one of the biggest myths about productivity. And that is people just think you either have focus or you don't, like it's a personality trait. Um, we've been told some people are just naturally focused, while the rest of us are just doomed to distraction, right? But that's not really true. Focus is a skill, and just like any skill, it can be learned and it can be improved. Um, and the best part is that you can build it in a way that fits your brain. I was just talking with someone who's live on here just now, and we were talking about being diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. um, and I wish someone had told me when I was younger how to work with my ADHD brain instead of trying to fight against it. I kept trying to do things the way I thought I was supposed to do them, like everybody else did, but my brain was creative and all over the place and it didn't respond. Um, so focus is actually a trainable skill, and you don't need to change who you are. You just need to have better tools. Need to know how you can build focus in a way that fits your brain. So we'll start with the myth that traps so many people. They say, I'm just not a focused person. Um, So when you believe this, then you stop trying, you know? It becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So instead, we need to recognize that focus is flexible. You know, you've had focused moments before, probably, so you can have more of them again. Um, it isn't true that you're just not a focused person. um, I was an educator for years, and we talked about growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And all that means is if you have a fixed mindset, then you just label yourself and you think you're just destined to that label. I'm just unfocused. Nothing I can do about it. Um, but focus isn't fixed. It's flexible. It can change. And your belief, if you have a growth mindset, is, well, I'm not very focused yet, but I'm learning. It's a belief that you can grow and that your focus can be enhanced. So your belief impacts your behavior, and your behavior impacts your focus. So hopefully that makes sense. So focus, what is it really? It's just your brain's way of choosing what to pay attention to. It's a mental filter that says this matters right now. And the great news is you can train that filter. So it's not about having, superhuman willpower. It's about learning how to steer your attention intentionally, um, having selective attention, because your brain is always working, whether you realize it or not. It's always filtering. So focus is choosing what matters, being intentional about it. You can train that filter. And I'm going to show you a couple of little simple tricks how. So it's not necessarily easy, especially at the beginning when you're just learning how to improve your focus. Focus feels harder than ever, because we got so many distractions, right? Um, Between what emails, texts, messages, uh, social media, 100 open tabs, your attention is under attack. And when you have too much on your plate or you're not sure what matters most, then it's even harder to stay focused. um, because we have task overload, we have a lack of clarity, we've got constant digital distractions, and so focus does feel difficult. Um, so focus is a skill, then how do we build it, right? Well, there are four elements that we're going to look at: awareness, environment, strategy, and energy. And each one plays a key role in helping you develop real sustainable focus on your terms. So let's look at these. The first step is awareness. You can't fix what you don't notice. So you got to start by catching yourself in the act of being distracted. What is it that's distracting you? Is it your phone? Are you hungry? Are you bored? Once you name it, then you can work with it instead of like being hijacked by it. So you got to notice when your focus drifts, label it. Is it just something I'm feeling or thinking, or is it a noise outside? And then gently redirect it without beating yourself up. So catch yourself in the act, awareness. And the next is environment. Um, and this makes a big difference. Your space either supports your focus or it sabotages it. So you got to set up your workspace like it's a friend, it's an ally, it needs to work for you, not against you. That means that you may need to take a little extra time away from something that you were going to do to clean up your environment. And so you got to declutter your desk. You got to maybe use a browser blocker on your computer, put reminders in your line of sight. I love sticky notes for that. But your environment should help you focus. Your environment shouldn't be something that fights against your focus. If you have visual clutter, that's going to equal mental clutter. So clear physical clutter, even if you don't have time to put it where it goes or sort through the papers or whatever, just pick it all up and stick it in a drawer if you're trying to work on something important, because you can't have it out. It's going to distract you and you're going to feel overwhelmed because you can think, oh, I got all this stuff to do. Look at all this stuff. Reduce digital noise. Clear up your computer a little bit. Don't have like a gajillion icons all over it. And set up visual cues for priorities. That's just a really big bird's eye overview. I actually go into, I have a group coaching program, and I go into detail with this in there, and there's a whole training on it. So this is just to kind of make you aware of it. Now, let's talk strategy. Focus isn't about just grinding away. It's about working smart. And in my coaching, I teach something called the 90-minute sprint method. And what you're doing is you're getting rid of all distractions for a short period of time, and you're giving 100% of your attention to one thing for 90 minutes. Now you work up to that. You do 30, 60, 90. And you use just short bursts of focused work. And then you take a break, a real break. Um, and you break big projects down into bite-sized steps. And then you also want to pay attention to your energy cycles, because everybody's energy ebbs and flows throughout the day, mental energy and physical energy. And I would add emotional too. But you want to match your hardest tasks with your peak energy time. Hang on. So you don't want to, like, the time that you're the most focused, the most alert, you don't want to use that time to check your email. You know, I've used this illustration before. That's like using a bulldozer to pick up weeds from your garden. It's not a match. Match your hardest tasks, the ones that maybe you really don't want to do, and they require a lot of concentration, reading directions, stuff that we hate, but do that when you're the most alert. So strategy matters. Be aware of when you get distracted, clear your space, and then work in 90-minute sprints. And schedule those sprints based on your energy peaks. Now, focus runs on fuel. If your energy is low, your focus is going to be low. So you have to prioritize physical health and mental health. You got to prioritize rest. You got to fuel your body well. Don't underestimate the power of movement. Like when you take that break after your focus time, get up, physically stand up, move around. It kind of refuels your brain, gets you ready for the next sprint. And managing your emotions is not always easy, but it is key, because stress and anxiety are major focus killers. If you are stressed out and anxious, you're not going to be able to concentrate as well. That's another thing we do in my coaching program is stress management and how to deal with that. I help a lot of people that have ADHD. Now, they don't all have ADHD, but the ones that do, it's interesting that when they learn how to manage their ADHD symptoms in a positive way, kind of by default, anxiety goes down, because so much of that anxiety was because they were always running late, always forgetting things, always behind, that kind of thing. And once you get that taken care of, it's kind of like you can just breathe a sigh of relief. So take care of yourself is really what this slide means. um, One of the things that I've really, in the past 2 years, tried to prioritize is sleep. And I've made some changes so that I'm getting better sleep. And it's made a difference in my concentration level. Okay, so we want to take 5 minutes, do a little quick focus audit. So think about your day, like your typical day. Where do you lose focus most often? Just think about that for a minute. Where do you lose focus most often? Okay, got that in your head? All right, think about this. What is one change that you could make in your own awareness or your environment or your strategy or your energy? What's one change you can make based on what we just talked about? And again, the 4 areas are awareness, environment, strategy, and energy. So jot it down if you can. And if you're comfortable, share it here in the chat if you're here live. I'd be curious to see where you lose focus most. And then what is one small change? It doesn't have to be like this big life overhaul, but this is the way that you train your focus. and you improve on that skill of focus is that you're aware, you take care of your environment, you change your strategy, and you match your hardest task to your biggest or your highest energy level. Crystal said, I lose focus most with tasks that I just don't want to do, that are big and complex, like filing business taxes. Yes, that is very common because it's so easy to just grab the low-hanging fruit, right? It's like we sit down to get something done and we're like, oh, that's so hard. I'll just check my email first. And then 30 minutes later, you're watching puppy yoga videos, right? um, I know because I've been there. So, so now that you're aware of that, think about those four areas and think about what's one small little change that you could make in those four areas. And when you do this, you're building your personal focus formula. It's your focus journey. You know, there's no one size fits all. What works for somebody else, what works for me, might not work for you. And that's okay because you got to build your focus formula one step at a time. Focus is a skill, and you're practicing it. You're not proving anything. Experiment, and I have all these little mantras I say in my coaching program, and one of them is progress over perfection. Progress is more important than perfection. So if you're waiting around for things to be perfect, you'll be waiting a long time. All right. Crystal said, small tweaks, environment clean off the top of my desk. Makes a huge difference. Do a 90-minute task first thing in the morning when I'm freshest. Yes. Yeah. When I switched to doing mental stuff in the morning, made a big difference. And then I could just do admin stuff in the afternoon when I'm kind of sleepy, made a big difference for me. So think that through for you. Remember, progress over perfection. All right. Quick reality check. Building focus takes time. Okay. You're going to get distracted. That is normal. You can't expect perfection. And then stop multitasking. We're so bad with this because it actually makes focus worse. And you're not even really multitasking. You're what scientists call switch tasking. So you're doing one thing, and then as soon as that little boredom starts to hit, you switch to another thing for a little dopamine hit. So you're switching tasks. And when they've done neuroscience studies, they've shown that it actually takes a long time to readjust every time you switch tasks. So you're not really, it's killing your productivity. And I know it's tempting to do, but most importantly, stop comparing yourself to other people. You're on your own timeline. And I tell people that in my coaching program, you you're living your journey, and it's your life. You're taking the steps at your own pace. So that's just a good thing to remember. So if you take one thing away, let it be this: you are not broken. If you have ADHD like me, or if you just have a creative brain, what I call a busy brain, a lot of entrepreneurs fit that category, especially if you have a neurodivergent brain. The traditional ways of focusing may not work for you, and that is okay. That doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means that you need a system that fits you. I think that's why the coaching program is so great, is because, uh, we're going through things that fit the way our brain works instead of saying you have to do it this way, step by step by step, and you got to conform the way you think to this thing. It's not like that. Everybody is different. I specifically keep things small so that I can individualize solutions for people. So if you're wired differently, like me, then you don't have to fix yourself. You just need a better system. Um, so with that being said, I do have a special invitation for you for an event that I have coming up. Um, if you're ready to train your focus, I challenge you to just choose one small tweak that you'll make this week, whether it's doing a 90-minute sprint, blocking your phone, taking a walk in between tasks. Just try it and then notice what happens. That's how you build focus, one small rep at a time. Don't try to like overhaul everything. Pick one thing to try and then start to build that focus muscle. So you might be wondering, how do I really do this specifically in my life? How can I build this skill of focus in my particular situation? How do I actually follow through on the things that I need to do and the things that I want to do? Well, you've got the slow way, which is what, honestly, it's what the majority of people try to do. And that is just through trial and error. They think that getting more information is going to help. If I could just get more information. Well, there's tons of information out there on ADHD, on productivity, on time management, tons of information. But you can never get that time back that you spent trying to get results. And if you're watching this, then you are the kind of person that can then get good results. So with your permission, I would like to share with you a way that you could get results faster by working with me in a workshop that I have coming up. So I don't know if I still just have one person taking a walk between tasks. Yes. You've sanctioned it. Actually, it's not just me saying that taking a walk helps, but science. When I was an educator, I learned all this science of learning, and science has proven that if we take a break, we're more productive than if we just power through. And you think, oh, taking a break is going to mess up my flow, but it doesn't. And if you think you're going to forget where you were when you stop, just put a little sticky note, and then you know exactly where to start again. But it really does work. So, so the fast way, working with me, is momentum made simple. So you've learned the method. Now it's time to apply it. Um, in a small group, expert guidance, supportive coaching, and focused time to work on your actual projects. So it's not a sit back and watch. It's a hands-on workshop. Lots and lots of fun. It's a live action plan workshop. It's where you can turn your good intentions into meaningful progress. So you walk away with a doable system that fits your brain. So you can stop procrastinating and finally move forward, finally take action. Now, I got a really exciting offer for you. But before I get too excited, I got to tell you who it's not for. If you're watching this replay or if you're live and you would rather make excuses than make things happen, this is not a good program for you. Just don't even sign up because it's a program created to help you take action and unlock your brain's special focus. Because it's a hands-on way to help you work with your brain to get more done. And like I said, it's a clear, doable system that fits your brain. So let's take a look at it. Now, this is not another class to passively watch. It is a working session where we get focused, we take action, and we make it real together. This is where you move from stuck to started. This is why it's called Momentum Made Simple. It's fun. It's 3 hours, but it's going to go like that. That's an implementation session where I work with you in a very small group. I intentionally keep it small. It's a fairly new workshop. Uh, so it's a great time to jump on board. Um, and it really is where you take your good intentions, things you've been meaning to do, and I help you get unstuck and actually get started doing them. Um, we have a four-step system based on the acronym ACTS, where we actually take that head knowledge and move it into action. Um, we'll break down one or more of your own goals that you'll bring. You'll come with something that you're going to share that you want to get started on, or your stuck project. And we build a real world plan around your energy and your attention. Now, you'll be learning some things along the way too. But you're going to go walk away with a plan, and you create a support system that keeps you moving forward. So you walk away with clarity, momentum, and a doable plan that fits your brain. And really the missing link between your goals and your follow through starts here because you already know what to do. Why does it feel so hard to do it so many times? It's a live, high impact working session. You're going to learn an easy way to finally follow through on your goals without battling your brain. Do you know what I mean by that? Without getting in your own way, as they say. So whether you're running a business, you're managing a creative project, or you're just tired of spinning in circles, it's an intensive workshop designed to help you go from stuck to started today. And we're going to use that four-step method I told you about. We're going to pinpoint the hidden blockers that keep you procrastinating because you're probably procrastinating for reasons you're not even aware of. And we're going to uncover that. And we're going to break down your real goals into clear, bite-sized actions. Align your focus with your natural energy, not your calendar. Build in support and structure that makes it easier to finish what you start. So it's not really about working harder, getting more done, It's about working differently. It's about getting the right things done in a way that finally works for you so that you can apply this to other things in the future. So this workshop is for you if you constantly say, I'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. You start projects full of energy, but rarely finish. You feel like you're underperforming your potential. You're juggling a million ideas, but not making consistent progress. You want to work with your brain, not against it. And many other scenarios I could paint. Then this is for you. Let me see. Why is my chat not working? For some reason, I can't pull that chat up. All right, well, type something else and I'll try to grab it before it disappears down in my toolbar. Now, this is not a webinar, where like right now, I'm talking and I'm the only one talking. This is more of an interactive workshop. There we go. With my brain, not against it. Yes. Yeah, it makes a big difference. So this is a supportive, action-based experience designed to move you forward. And in the end, you're going to walk away with a personalized action plan, real clarity around your blocks, tools to help you stay on track, and a big sigh of relief that you're finally getting traction, right? And as I said, I intentionally keep it small because I'm going to personally work with each person. And you'll learn by watching me work with the other people as well. So seats are limited. And I just want you to kind of use your imagination and imagine getting more done each day than you ever thought you could. Never having to worry about missing an important deadline, setting goals and accomplishing them, because everything's possible now. All right. Are you ready for the price? And I know you're like, well, when is it? How much is it? All right, so it is Thursday, June 12th from 9 a.m. to 12 Central. That's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. It's live on Zoom. It's $197, but for the people watching this training, I'm knocking $100 off. Um, Now it's going to go back up right before, but for now, for just a couple of days, it's going to be only $97. Now that includes a workbook, a printable workbook that you can take with you, um, and all the activities, any other resources or templates that I have. So $97 is a pretty good deal. Now, I know people see fast action bonus and they're like, oh my gosh, here she comes. She's going to pressure me. I'm not trying to pressure, but I am trying to encourage you to take action. Because if you have ADHD like me, you probably like overthink everything and then you just procrastinate. I do that. I'm saying that about me. And sometimes somebody will make an offer for something. I really want the thing, but I'll go, oh, I just don't feel like getting up and going in the other room, getting my credit card, or I just got to think about it. I got to check my calendar. You don't have to think about it. If you know that morning is clear for you. And in fact, if you really want to do it and June 12th doesn't work and you want to get in on the 97, if you pay 97 and let me know that you want to be on the wait list for a future date that'll be in July, then I can still get you in on that price and then we'll just save your spot. All right, so if you take action today, you have a fast action bonus, which is a really awesome, awesome deal. It's your action clarity blueprint. So you can stay focused and follow through. It's worth $397 and it's yours absolutely free when you sign up for this workshop today. So with this action clarity blueprint, you get access to this powerful task management system designed specifically to help people with ADHD. But even if you don't have ADHD, it is super helpful. It gives you step-by-step guide and templates to help you effectively organize your tasks so you don't feel overwhelmed, prioritize your to-do list, accomplish, more in less time, which is what we always want. It helps you prioritize your tasks and just make sure nothing falls through the cracks. It shows you how to break down projects into manageable steps so that you can reduce that overwhelm, and it allows you for better planning and execution. So if you sign up today, you will get that on the day of the workshop. So again, imagine it's 1 week from now and you've accomplished all the important things that you plan to do that week because you've got this new way of thinking. It's 1 month from now and you're seeing all these results in your business, in your personal life. And it's 1 year from now and you've met all your revenue goals by working less hours. Well, I would love to support you. I'm going to put this is so new that I don't even have my fancy landing page built yet. So I only am going to give you the payment link. I know, old school, but as soon as you do pay, you'll get a confirmation email and right before the event, you'll get the Zoom link. But you don't have to do this alone. You don't need to keep struggling through the same patterns. It is going to be awesome to help you build that momentum together. Now, let me put I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. And those of you watching the replay, I'm going to stop my recording, do some live Q&A, and I will give you the link under where you see this recording.